Not the least of exciting stuff is this second art call. And Anne Looney is the chair of the committee, and she is going to answer all these questions that I've been hearing come in as we were chatting. And we are so excited to have you here, Anne. Take it away.
Thank you, Eileen. I'm so glad to be here. And actually, it won't just be me answering questions because the last Zoom, we also had our committee members answering questions. So that was excellent. And with that, I'd love to welcome everyone thank you for being here and being interested in this. We're really excited to show your creativity to the world through this project. And I want to introduce our committee members, just in case some of you weren't on the meeting last time. We've got Eileen. She's our board liaison. We have Mari from Michigan. She's on our committee. We have Ella Carlson, who was the original committee, and now she's stayed on for this one. We're so lucky to still have her here. Terry Whitaker, who just turned off her camera, but she's on our committee too. She's an amazing part, just like everyone. Then not here yet is Tom Rouse. He's doing our jury. He's handling our jurors. And then we also have Marianne Keeling, who also isn't here right now. She is handling our outreach to exhibition locations, and she's doing an amazing job. So I feel really lucky that ASP, on our behalf, we have this wonderful group of people who together have navigated a lot of decisions, including our new name and logo, which I'm going to showcase at the end of the program. I couldn't decide where to put it in the slides, but I think we'll just do it at the end. And we're lucky to have the support of everyone on ASP board and the executive director, Mel, who's here. He helps us with so much of this. And our past president, John, our current chairman, he has been a huge part of this in its inaugural exhibit. So, and I'm sure I'm leaving people out. I don't mean to, and to all the artists who were so brave to be a part of our exciting first exhibit that took so many years, but we were thrilled to get everybody up on the walls. And it's been a lot of fun to work with you. And we still have one more exhibit to do this year at the Pearl Fincher. So with that, I think I would love to share my screen and show the slideshow here that I have, that some of it's repeat from last time just in case, and then there's a couple new things. So let's see, and this time I will play it so that everybody can see it correctly. Okay, so, and of course you guys will have questions, and that is what we're here for. So Eileen, let me know if somebody has a question, if you notice. Otherwise I'll stop and we can have questions at the end. So our call for entries, the theme this last time was Maker's Muse. This time it's Resonance, Perspectives through the lens of the artists of the American Society of Photographers. The committee wanted to keep it a broad brush again, where we could welcome lots of entries from all different genres. You want to be thinking about something that the viewer might connect with. You want to be thinking about something that would do well in a gallery or that you might enjoy seeing on a museum wall. We just want to see what you can create. We know you are all amazing, and we're excited to see what you put in the pot and what the jurors decide. So the submission window is from July 1st to August 1st, and if all goes just as planned, we'll be announcing the accepted entrants and entries on September 1st. So this is, if you haven't yet gone in to submit your images, this is what you would be greeted with when you have paid and you click the link to enter your submissions. When I set this up, I made it so that you could actually go back in and change something if you needed to until the end date, August 1st. Or maybe you'll add some more or something like that. There's first four. The first four come up because your first payment is for 4, and then you can buy individual additional. Maybe you want to do 5, maybe you want to do 8, maybe you can want to do all 10. So there's room for that on here. Some people have had trouble finding the link. The way we set it up was that you go to our website, you click the pay link, and then on that screen, once you've paid, Mel set it up so that the link to this Google form shows up on that screen. We have learned it is not showing up in receipts that come to your email, and Mel worked really hard to see if he could make that happen, but it is not possible. So if you run into any trouble, my number, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Mel. I always have my cell phone number available. I can always send you the link to this Google form. The next thing is, this is just a reminder, this is when you go to the rules and procedures. This is what it should look like. After our last Zoom meeting, we had some great questions, which caused us to realize we needed to update our rules and procedures to answer those questions. So that is why this was updated on July 9th. So we hope that all of your questions are answered. As always, if something is not clear, we want you to succeed, so please reach out to us. You can reach out to me first, and if I can't answer the question, I'll get together with the committee and we will come together with an answer. We did that with Nancy Bassman's question, and we'll get to that later. It was a very thoughtful question, and we definitely needed to come up with a solution. So again, if you have any questions, we really, we're not here to like make it difficult. We don't mean to make it difficult. We certainly try to make it easy. So this is just an example of the kind of graphics we put together for our first collection. And we made a special day around the opening reception, which we try very hard to align with imaging, knowing not everybody goes to imaging, but we know also that that is the most likely place to capture the most people who are in the show or who would like to see the show. So this was our first exhibition location, and it was in Grapevine. Maybe many of you went and saw it. Maybe you were there at the reception. We certainly really appreciated the people who came, and we started it the day out with a walk along the town of Grapevine, which was truly set up for exactly that type of thing. And it was a really wonderful way for ASP members to gather right at the beginning of the big imaging. So our graphics team, which is all ASP members who have great talents, put together our graphics, and that's one example. This is the show, one of the walls at the city-owned gallery. That was our first stop. We created this wall cling with our title, and we had people who were of the city stood up on ladders and put that up on the wall for us, and then we hung the show. So this is the beautiful setup that Terry Whitaker did with the flowers to echo some of the works in the show. And we were really lucky to have a whole group of people working together to make this reception really special. Oops, sorry. This was the other wall. There were 60 pieces in the show. There's one more wall to the left that you can't see, but there were 60 pieces in the show, so we did a lot of double hanging, and that was a lot of fun to curate it that way and see how things worked well together. This was the reception. The city, one of the council members of the city was there to give us his remarks, and it was great. And we had our exhibition catalog available for pickup or sale, and it was all a jolly night. These were the board members and the artists who were present. Then we went to the silos at Sawyer Yards from April 11th to May 27th. And this was another amazing opportunity to hang the art in different juxtapositions. So we had way more space here. So we had a lot of fun making the art talk to each other in different ways around corners and next to each other. And it was a lot of fun. We did some color groupings. We did some black and white groupings. And this was a building that had it was a complex that had a number of artist studios, like that door you see there on the left, that's an artist studio. And then it had a lot of exhibition space. So we did the labels, and everybody had a QR code linking. It was just great. There were a lot of ways for people walking through the space to get to see about the artist and about ASP, and everything was for sale. So this was the reception there, the setup of the reception. That's Marianne's husband, Tom, in the background. This is what Terry Whitaker, who heads up the graphics team, Terry put this together for us for our next show, which is September 19th to January 10th. So this will be coming down just as we're all in another city in Nashville. And so this is another great opportunity. Now, this is at the Pearl Fincher, which is actually a museum. It doesn't have its own collection. It always hosts traveling exhibits. So ours was a perfect fit, and we were very lucky that Marianne found it for us. This is what their entrance lobby looks like, and our artwork will be not in the front room, but in the back area. And so there are two exhibits on at once. The opening reception is September 19th. Everybody is invited, and Eileen has put together some amazing programming for the Friday and Saturday of the weekend of October 10th. And then again, Friday and Saturday for the weekend of, is this right, Eileen, November 7th? Okay. And so we're one of our main things that we do with this exhibit, and we'll do again with the next collection, is we have, we love to teach, so and educate and learn from each other. So we put together educational programs that can benefit members and guests, there, and the Pearl Fincher is thrilled to host us for that. So, and we're also going to put together a Zoom online Zoom program that Eileen's working on now of the artists in the exhibit who would like to participate, so that anyone who couldn't make it to any of these in person, whether they're an artist or an attendee, can participate and benefit in some way. So this was Mari here. She and I loaded up the truck with a lot of help from a lot of volunteers, but Mari came in from Michigan on her way to Florida. This is when we left Grapevine and we went to Houston to put the art in storage for a little while, and it all fit in this U-Haul truck. So thank you again to everybody who was on the volunteer team for that. That was actually a lot of fun. This was the team in Grapevine, some ASP members and some Houston Guild members, and there's the gallerist Rachel in there too in the checkered jacket.
Dallas Guild members.
Dallas Guild, sorry, yes, Dallas Guild members. Then we had Houston Guild members help us over in the Houston area. This was our storage area with all the art. We created an exhibition catalog of this work and the work that was accepted into the collection but wasn't exhibited. So that is a lovely catalog that's still available for purchase. And it was a fun project that ASP is now using Book Baby for our exhibition and IOD book production. So that's been a lot of fun. This is a trifold. You got to picture it folded in 3 ways. But Terry designed this. It's wonderful. This was available at Sawyer Yards, and it's going to be available again at Pearl Fincher. And this is just an example of how we try to promote, and we work to promote our artists. And it has the 3 exhibitions. It has all about ASP. And then on the other side, we list out all the artists. We have our QR code, and we talk about the exhibition. So that was very successful. And then we also provided artists these graphics to put on their social media. This was intended for a picture of the artist, and this is intended for a picture of the art itself. So the exciting thing about our next collection is that while we are working very hard to see if we can find a place in Nashville, we know that we will be exhibiting at the Nepenthe Gallery in Alexandria, Virginia. And this is Renee. You see Renee Gage in here. She is second from the right in the upper picture. And then she is an ASP member, and she's the head of membership, and she was the head of ambassador. So many of you probably know her. But she has her work there, and this is where she gets all her work framed. And her good friend Carrie and Carrie's husband, pictured below, own the gallery. Carrie's the gallerist, and her husband's the framer. And they have a beautiful collection of work that they show of their own, but then they also have a lot of artists in there. And every Thursday they do a wine and cheese reception. They have a really strong following. They're in Alexandria, Virginia, and we just met again today to nail it down, and we're looking at right now June and July of 2026. And Renee, in the spirit of the project, she has just come up with, we'll do an all-day ASP event on the day of the reception, and she and I were talking, let's go to the National Portrait Gallery, which is paired up with the American Art Museum. Then let's have lunch, then everyone can have free time, and then we'll head to the Nepenthe reception, and then we'll have a post-event party at Renee's studio, which is literally just walking distance around the corner. So we're really excited for this. The Nepenthe Gallery website is down at the bottom, and I actually want to put in the chat when I stop sharing a bunch of links. So I'll put that in the chat, Eileen, if you help remind me. Okay, so I think my next slide, hang on, I have to look. Can you tell? Hold on a second. All right. So my next slide is to reveal the name of the logo and new collection name, but I want to stop sharing just so I can answer any questions that might have come up at this point.
Well,
Yes.
that show says June, July. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Diana.
Yeah, this show says June, July, but it doesn't say what exact date is that.
We haven't picked it yet. It's going to be summer, but it will depend on if we can get a show before that and a show after that, we want to make sure that since Carrie is very flexible, we want to make sure that we, in the next couple of months, iron all that out, and then we'll know the dates.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Anne,
Yes.
I'm thinking about entering this. I have 4 images. I know it's something, the rule says something like 4,000 pixels on the longest side. The question I have is, do you care if I have frame, like a digital frame or not, or does it really matter?
I'm going to have Tom answer that question because he's working with the jurors, and here's Tom. So Tom, what do you think about the digital frame? And I think you're muted right now before you answer.
I was muted, thank you. I don't think it's important to have any presentation at all for the juror review.
Okay, that's fine because I could do
Yeah.
it either way, but I'm just trying to present my work the best way. Thanks.
Sure, yeah, I don't think that's relevant. They'll look beyond that. We've already talked about that with them. So they're looking at, I don't think it'll count against you.
But
Simply, we wanted to make it as simple as possible and based on the image, not the presentation.
yeah, I think I'll do it without frame. That's no problem.
Thank you, Michael. And coming from that, just something that came up last time, just to reiterate, is this isn't, and Tom, you can speak to this, but just bringing up the idea that we're not these are not being looked at as PPA image, competition images. These are being looked at beyond that. Is that right, Tom?
Yes, and we particularly sought out some people to do portfolio reviews that are outside both the ASP and the PPA system. There is a PPA, kind of a visual culture, and the wide world of fine art is necessarily bigger than that. So we wanted some people with a broader range of exposure to fine art and gallery image specifically, and who are also able to judge outside their genre. I mean, they have their own styles, but they're experienced and well equipped to judge things that are not in their genre.
Thank you.
And I think one good point you made earlier was you would want to submit imagery that you would want to see on your wall. So my understanding is perhaps there was some confusion, perhaps for a few people with the first call, that they submitted images that might have been really beautiful, strong client work, but not necessarily something someone else would want to have on their wall for display.
That's a good point, Eileen. Tom, do you want to comment? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And I should have expressed it that way. But yeah, we want to get out. We're all portrait and wedding photographers, but we don't really want to exhibit that, nor is there a great interest in that if you're not the subject of the photograph. But that doesn't rule out artfully done portraiture that stands on its own as there is the fine art portraiture. I don't want to exclude that, so you can't put in a portrait. It just needs to be in the vein of what someone would expect to find in a gallery and what they would be interested in. I hope that makes sense. Just to, we don't want our traditional daily kind of studio work.
Thank you.
And I think the title really speaks to that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we did put a little more language on the museum project page that expands a little bit about what might be something that gives you some thought about what to do. I think I'm using too many words right now. Sorry. And I did put in the chat project links for our museum project page on the website, our entries form, even if I'm just putting it there because people have had trouble getting that link. So that is there. But if you do enter there, you also do have to pay for your entries by the deadline, or we'll have to remove your entries. But I did put the payment link on the Google form. So I think there's a nice circle there. And the rules and procedures are there. Oh, and Thea, thank you for putting the payment form up there. And the Nepenthe Gallery link is there as well. And as Thea just put up the link to pay that Mel put together for us. And then
did you want to speak to Nancy's question that she brought to us?
yes, so model releases. So Nancy had done street photography and some portraits on the street too. And so Nancy brought to us the question of, well, maybe she doesn't have model releases, maybe other people don't have model releases. What's the rule around model releases for street photography? And the committee came together and put together a form that simply elaborates on what we need from you. And if you don't have it, please write in any notes you want to tell us about your work, and then agree that ASP is not liable for anyone coming forward and saying they did not give permission for this. We understand circumstances can be variable, and so we hope that this is a suitable for people who are wondering how to submit if they may or may not have a model release. But in the rules, we do ask to make sure, like in the IOD rules, that you have all required releases for something that might end up being on the wall of a gallery or in the exhibition catalog. Eileen, did you have anything to add to that?
Just that this is if you have a street portrait where there's a singular subject that dominates the image, I would assume, as opposed to street photography where you have secondary and primary subjects and other things going on. Is that clear? Am I right?
And Nancy, does that speak to the spirit of what your question was? Okay, great. Thank you. Wonderful. Yeah, Ted, did you have a question?
Yeah. Is there a method for naming the file?
Yes, the naming of the file is listed in the rules, but it would start with your 3 initials, and then it would have dashes and a dash in the title. And I can't remember exactly I don't want to say it wrong, but let's see. But it is in there. And then once you get into the actual submission form, it's there again to remind you, just in case that wasn't clear. Let me see if I can find it in the rules. Remember last time I was trying to find something in the rules and I couldn't find it.
I've got it here if you want.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
It says uploaded images must be JPEG or JPEG format, quality 10, SRG spaced, that's all of that. And then the name would be your 3 initials, underscore, first name of the title, underscore, second name, underscore, until you finish the title, .jpeg.
So when you mean first 3 initials, are your first, middle, and last name?
Yeah, or if you just
Okay.
have 2 initials, just do 2 initials.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay.
way we can separate you. If we do end up having somebody with the same initials and the same title, we will identify, who they are and put their, do something that identifies for us. And everybody gets their own artist number on our end, and then every entry gets its own letter on our end, so that we're sure to associate you with your image.
So you want our
Yeah.
actual name, not our business name.
Right. We'd like your name. Well, so yes, your initials would be your name, because that's how we have you as a member in ASP. So
Okay.
yes, thank you. And then for those people who are accepted, when their image is accepted, we're going to ask you for more information. So we're trying to keep it very simple now, just to make it easier to upload and get everything in. Anything that Tom needed for the jurors, we put in this submission form. And so later, if you are accepted, we will ask for all sorts of other things, like your headshot and the dimensions of your piece and all the things. In this form, you can let us know if there's something very special about your presentation that you think the jurors should know, because it, say it's on a giclée paper with hand-torn edges and it's pencil colored on it, or something that you just think would help them see it better, that they might not be able to see in the digital file itself. Please put that in there. It's completely optional, and it needs to be said in a brief way. Later, for the actual labels for the accepted pieces, we'll ask for a brief medium statement so that we can put that on the label. Any other questions?
So each image will be judged separately. See, one may only get accepted at 4, is that correct? Or 2, or?
Yeah, every image is going to be judged on its own merit, not and apart from the group that it's in. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got
oh, sorry. Yes, Andy.
a quick question. If I understand the rules correctly, there's no restrictions on past merit winners or other, you know, entries in any other contest.
No, no restrictions unless you entered it into the museum project and it was accepted before, right, Tom? That's the only thing. We can't take any already accepted images from the museum project. Tom, did you have any comments on whether there are restrictions on any entries having been accepted into any or having been awarded things in the past? You're muted. You're muted.
I'm always muted. Not nearly enough, some would say. No, I don't think we didn't set any restrictions on that. Only if you'd entered this prior series, yeah, we request that you not re-enter the same things. There's no reason to do that. But yeah, I think it's independent of any other awards given or received or anticipated. I don't think that's congratulations on them, and
Yes.
that's good. So
That's great. And we do have, ultimately, we do have size minimums and maximums, for presentation. So if it's already a living piece that you're thinking of entering, like you've already printed it and created it, just make sure that it's no more than 36 by 36 inches in the outside dimensions and no smaller than 11 by 14. Or just reprint it. So, yes.
Is that the actual image or is that the image within the presentation?
That's the outside dimensions, so including the presentation.
Including the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's based on our ability to have a large enough collection that we can fit it somewhere and also to transport it, etc. And also, I just noticed Sean is here, and Sean is she's sort of on our committee. She's our amazing copy editor. We run everything by her, and she keeps us real, and we're really lucky to have Shauna be a part of our group. Any other questions? Okay, well, while you're thinking of any more that might come up, and if I forgot anything, we can get to that, but I think it's time to reveal the new name for the project, and I'll just preface it with, it seemed that we needed a new name, and the committee came together and thoughtfully discussed it, and then gave the name to the graphics chair, Terry, who then invited her team to come up with some logos, and the committee looked through unbelievable options. I think everyone would agree it was really hard to narrow it down. And then once we narrowed it down, it was really hard to choose. But actually, the final choice was unanimous. And so I'm going to see if I can do this in some sort of interesting way. Let's see. I'll share my screen. Sorry, you're going to end up seeing it before. So everybody might want to close their eyes because I really don't know how to do this in any better way. Share. Play. There you go. We're now called the Exhibition Collection of the American Society of Photographers, and this is our logo. So you'll see this everywhere going forward. And I can tell you, it's going to be hard for me to stop saying Museum Project because I think I've been saying it since 2018, but I am truly excited to learn how to say Exhibition Collection. So what does everybody think of this?
Looks great. I think it's wonderful. It's great.
Thank you, Diana.
No, I think it explains it. Exhibition collections. Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fujiko is the one that designed it. She did an excellent job.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
We are all very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have another question.
Okay.
So in between shows when they're stored, and they're stored in wherever you store them. I don't know where you stored them. In storage. Is it air conditioned storage or is it I have some really cool photo encaustic pieces, but I would love to enter that. But if it's, encaustic is a wax process and, it can get some heat, but at some point, if it's
Right.
In a really hot storage facility, it's probably not the right thing to enter.
So what we did was we limited ourselves to only climate controlled storage. But that being said, it's in a contained thing in order, within the storage area. And we don't know if the air conditioning is going to do anything bad, but we are doing everything we can to make sure that it's within a climate controlled space. And of course we choose exhibition spaces that are climate controlled as well. But that is, I understand, that would be very cool. Tom, do you have any comment on that? Put you on the spot.
No, I think what you've selected for storage is as reasonable and as can be, and as likely to be safe as anywhere else. That said, the weather changes. You well know in Texas that things happen and there's power outages and things like that. I'm afraid we couldn't guarantee.
Of course not. I mean, I was just asking.
Beyond that, yeah.
Yeah.
But every effort was made to find reasonable storage space. I know.
Right.
And I guess I would say that you would have the option if our timing allows, and if you wanted to pay for it for us to get it back to you in between exhibitions. That's always an option. You would need to pay for the shipping, so I would keep it small, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, I would like to say that could be an option if we can. We'd have to talk about it and see what we could do. But there is that you could have it back in between if it could take the travel without any trouble,
Right.
So.
Well, if it was packed right, it could take the travel.
Okay.
But like that's with any art piece, unless it's on a metal substrate or something like that. I mean, even fine art paper, hand colored or oil, colored or whatever is it's all subject to whatever the elements are that are around it. But things are shipped all the time and they make it. So I don't know. I'll have to decide if I want to enter it or not. So I'll decide.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
And
then,
these works are for sale or not? I heard on one of the things you said that the artwork was for sale.
So what we've done is when we originally envisioned it, we were picturing museums but then we found out we could also really make this work in galleries too. So each scenario is different, but Ella and I worked out a online sale website option, and so it's PayHip. So starting with Sawyer Yards, we now have the art on view, for sale. So at Sawyer Yards, there was no gallerist. It was just people walking by and they could look up and we would respond. But at the first venue, they were gallerists. So it was under commission and they were getting a commission if something sold. We haven't sold anything yet, just to be honest. This is our first foray into all of this. It will be on view again at the Pearl. That's not a sales setting, but they'll have, they'll be able to share that these are available for purchase.
Right.
So,
if someone did purchase it, they have to wait till the entire show's over to purchase.
Okay. Or the artist could decide to send them one from their own, they could, if it wasn't like one unique piece, if they could talk with their buyer about the second and another one in their limited edition or something like that. The commission, ASP would take a 20% commission. Most gallerists take a 50% commission, and that's just because we would manage the sale and the pricing and all that. I mean, the credit card fees and all that. And then next summer at the Nepenthe Gallery, that's a gallery, so she might sell your work, and that would be a 50% commission as well.
So that would be 50 plus the 20?
No, we don't take anything if there's a gallerist involved. It's just if we're managing everything versus the gallerist. Yeah, so you would want to price your work for that.
Yeah, I get it.
Selling the artwork isn't a moneymaker for us. It's just there are costs associated with handling the sale.
Oh, yeah, of course. There's always cost, yeah.
Well, and we would love for your art to sell, everybody's art to sell, and we didn't go into it with that concept, but it has been a nice potential, and we're hoping to help you out with that if possible.
That's the dream, right? Hang in somebody else's space and they love it every day they see it. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here, for anybody here, if any of you know any place where we could reach out, we could reach out, or if you have a connection and you want to reach out to exhibit somewhere, maybe you went to a college that has a museum, maybe you're, of a gallery or a cool town you visited that might be something you think we'll follow up on it, or you could, and then let us know. But we're happy to take any leads because we look to do this for, over time, not just this year, not just next year. So we're trying to plan out for the future.
Hey,
I know I'm asking all the questions, but do you want them to go back to the same locations like Sawyer Yards again, or do you want it to go to a different location? Because I have other places in Houston I could connect you
Oh,
with.
yeah, in the future when we're back in that area, yeah, I mean, someday, yes, if you could help us out, that would be great. And we are planning to go back when we go back to Grapevine in 2028. We plan to go back to the galleries where we were. They have invited us back, but that's just to say some we would like to go back to. But we're always happy to try new things.
Right.
Thank
you know,
you.
University of Maryland did display artist work. You might want to try there
Okay, thank
because
you,
they get
Michael.
flyers in the probably mail. They display artist work, but maybe you could try there to display art. You could try.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
We're also you'd be interested, Michael, we're also going to look at the Strathmore. The Strathmore
yes.
Arts Center in Bethesda. Because I know
Yes.
you live in Rockville, right? Yeah.
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 Ideally, we could hit all the different parts of the country over the next 2, 3 years. So we've done Texas, and ideally we can do the East Coast and then maybe the West Coast, right? And
Right.
somewhere in the middle, just to give everybody a chance, right? Share the wealth.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we had some leads to follow up for Oklahoma City or in somewhere in Oklahoma. And of course, we want to get up near where Thea is. And we want to get up there where Tom is, Connecticut.
What are the dates that the show will run? I mean, the time that the whole
This
like
upcoming collection,
mhm,
it would be during the year 2026.
a whole year of 2026.
And so we are promising one show. Of course, we want to do more than one. So we're looking for up to 3 right now.
Okay.
And it all depends on Mari is going to be working with John Harrell on sponsorship, right, John? John is working hard to get our fundraising and sponsorship program to help out our wonderful ASP projects. We think the exhibition collection has a few different cool ways for some companies, small and big, local, national, to sponsor us. So if we can do that, we can look at more shows, right, Eileen and John and Mari?
Yeah. Because as you all know, it costs quite a bit to move a show, and we appreciate the artists who contributed for the traveling expenses for this one that we're doing right now. The receptions, everything is always an additional expense. It wasn't something that we had planned for this particular show that's been going on here in Texas. When we initially, and I wasn't part of the original team, but I mean, this just sort of blew up, right? In a wonderful way.
In a positive way.
Yeah, in a fabulous way. So we're very excited about it and the possibilities for this next year as well.
Do you want to keep it regional, like this year, the 25, 26, the 20? Do you want to keep it regional to the East Coast, and then the next year you would go west, or?
Yeah, as
I've got
that's
some connections in different places. I'm just trying to figure out
oh great.
if I
Well,
can help you out.
thank you. Yeah, we'd love that. Well, it's going to be in Alexandria in the Washington, D.C. area in the summer. So it would be nice not to have to go very, very, very long distances between the two. So something that we could easily truck, in a U-Haul truck
Right.
without too much trouble, would be just a thought in an answer to your question. Did you want to say something, Tom?
Me? Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if we ever decided as a group what's the minimum duration we would really need to reasonably have an exhibition.
Yeah.
What were they and what have they been so long? How long have they hung so far? About 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
So in Grapevine, it was like
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Yep. And then in Sawyer Yards, it was about 6 weeks. And then at Pearl Fincher, it's going to be 2.5 months. Wait, September, November, yeah, 2.5 months. And so I was thinking, go ahead, Tom.
So I would assume we want at least a month's duration.
Unless for Nashville, we could get a pop-up of like
Yeah.
10 days around imaging or something just to make
Yeah.
it work, then yes. And maybe there are little pop-ups within a short region that maybe.
Yeah.
John, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, when this started out in 2025, we identified two places in Grapevine. Actually, we identified one place in Grapevine, which then became two places. And when we were there, then opportunities in Houston popped up. So Diane, my response is bring us opportunities. We'll figure
Okay.
it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
we'll
want,
talk about
I,
things.
yeah, I don't want to limit your thinking. Just
No,
the
I mean,
world is
you
our
never
oyster.
know. I know people, but I don't know. You don't know. Who knows? Just
Right.
explain.
Well, and Diana, you're good friends with Mary Ann, and she's the
Yeah, I
person
am.
who's doing our outreach.
Yeah.
So, but loop Ann in on whatever y'all discuss so Ann
Yeah.
knows what's going on. But
Yeah,
that's very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And we're going to be, we're already looking at, like today, Nepenthe, Carrie from Nepenthe told me she has a gallery she's a gallery friend in Charlotte. Now we're going to be in Charlotte for imaging in a
Mhm.
couple of years. So we're going to start trying to line that up, and
Right.
so yes, anything you can think of,
Okay.
let's noodle it over together would be
Yeah. Well, if
excellent.
it's Houston, there's a couple places here in Houston and Brazosport. I'm in an artist group here, and we have a show hanging at the Brazosport Art Center down there.
Mm.
It's an educational center. It's a beautiful space, huge. So, but I don't know how far in advance you have to get on their calendar because they book up.
Yeah, we got into Sawyer and Pearl. We got into Sawyer because somebody canceled. I mean,
Yeah.
Mary Ann is just so good at this.
Yeah,
So,
she is.
yeah.
Yeah, and Marianne and I are both in this same group, but we'll
That's
talk.
great.
I'll talk to
Yeah,
Marianne.
yes. She would enjoy
But,
a
yeah,
companion on
but
this.
I
So,
do know some other outside of Texas connections. I'll just check into them and give it to you. If it works out, it works out.
Diana, that's fabulous. Thank you. Thank
It
you.
doesn't hurt to start talking to them about 2028, Diana.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
So right in 2028, after it leaves the grapevine, it'll need to go somewhere.
Yeah, there was up in Cooperstown, New York. There's a museum up there a couple of years ago that I went to. I went to an exhibit there, and they have traveling exhibits there. I was thinking about that, but I don't know. I'll have to look up the information on that and who I spoke to. Not for this. I mean, it was something else. But you never know. Something like that might work for us.
And and Tom and I have been talking about different well into the future, different small museum directors who might be interested in curating the show with us, and then having it launch there at their place, so they could be part of the jurors, and then be the inaugural exhibition spot for that show, right,
Well,
Tom?
in Houston, we have Houston Center for Photography. There's got to be other cities that have like the same types of things. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, but their gallery space is very small.
It is small, but they also have outreach connections too. And like you said, so one of y'all said a university setting could be good.
Mhm. Yep.
One
I know
question,
you guys
Anne, that
think-
came up before we started our Zoom was,
Okay.
I don't think we have a requirement that it has to be plexi and not glass, do we?
No, I mean, it's just a matter. I don't think so. I mean, maybe we need to consider that, but it is a matter of it potentially breaking on your art and shipment or anything, or being very heavy. And you want to consider that. The plexi they're making nowadays for viewing is really good. So, I mean, Tom, do you have a thought on that?
No, and I thought we discussed that and made that,
Did we?
if not a recommendation, I thought we'd made it a rule, but
All right, let me look into that.
glass is heavy.
It is heavy.
Yeah, I think we might want to revisit that and update it yet again.
All right, we'll check
If
it out.
it's not already there.
I could easily be wrong.
A lot of times in the art world, if it is a piece that needs glass, they do require plexi if it's traveling. I mean, I
Okay.
know from my dad. My dad's a watercolorist, and he has been in many shows that have traveled the United States. So I'd only know that from him because I know that. So anyway, whatever works out, you know.
Yeah,
It is less weight for sure.
yeah. I
Ted's
don't.
trying to sneak in with a question.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ted.
I have one question and one statement. One statement is you guys think Texas is west?
No,
Live out in Utah and PPA doesn't come out here. So anyway, just saying. But my
Mhm.
question is like, if you do a metal, does it have to be framed?
No, it does not. That's a good question. And I don't see anything about glass or plexi in our rules, but I do see I got the minimum dimension wrong. It's 11 by 11, not 11 by 14. So you could do a square, 11 by 11 if you wanted. Yes, we have some metal pieces that are not framed in our current exhibition.
yeah,
They just-
Texas is South Central.
Yeah.
But one thing about the metal pieces is that you need to think about how they're hung.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You have the French cleat option on the back with a wire hanger because a lot of galleries won't take a metal piece. So if you get in a gallery and you have the sawtooth thing on the back, they won't take it. I just know that from being in galleries.
thank you. That is true.
Yeah.
We had a sawtooth issue we had to remediate. And so it has to be able to hang by wires, D-rings.
So Anne, I was just looking at the rules,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of references to museum project. You're going to rewrite those now?
Yeah, we're going to have to rewrite this. We didn't know exactly when we were going to be able to make our decision on the new name and logo, so we just went ahead and released the rules. But yes, Andy, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of places, but fortunately, because it's an exciting thing.
Yeah, it'll be great. I like the new name.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Yeah.
And you said that we could have our printers if shipped to you guys directly if we're selected, right?
Yes, you can. Yes, and we will have a location to ship things to by the time it's needed. But yes, a lot of people had their lab send directly, so that saves on shipping costs.
Okay.
And
yeah. Okay, great. Because one of my pieces, if selected, my printer for this particular print moved to the Midwest. He is going to have his printing set up by the time this is needed, if it's selected, but still.
yeah, that's definitely some good things to think about for sure. And yeah, if you pack it, well, Mari has a nice story about her packing. She took her stuff to UPS. Mari, you want to talk about that? Do you want to share? Yeah.
I will definitely be doing smaller images and not mine is I don't even remember how big, but it's a large image and a large frame and very heavy. So in UPS he was amazing, Jimmy, and but when I got there and helped with packing and looking at everybody else's, I said, next time I am not, if I get selected, I am not going big. It's going small. But and we could do a smaller truck next time too.
Yeah. Yep. And Jimmy did a beautiful job. Everyone was impressed with when we repacked the art, right, in Grapevine, that Mari's was really well packed. And some people put two pieces when you know, for that particular show. But it's important to think about what investment you're going to be making in the presentation and the shipping. And artists need to be responsible for shipping back from the final location, but the project pays along the way to move it. I will be upfront. Last year, we only expected one show, but we were able to get these extra two. So we did ask the artists if they wanted to continue on. We would need $50 a piece just to be able to afford it. So we did do that. And I can't say that won't happen again this year, but we're working on we're hoping on some sponsors. So we'll see. But I do want to be upfront about that.
But it's exciting. There's at least one show guaranteed in Alexandria, which is a great location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and last time, I mean, it was just sort of in the wind. We're hoping.
Yeah. No, it's great. And we're just, the things we just need to decide for that are about how long and where. It will be at least 4 weeks, at least for that. It could be longer. I just didn't want to commit to Carrie because I thought, well, maybe we'll have something before it and something after. We'll see. I mean, we're committed, but I just didn't want to commit the time yet. The committee needs to figure out once Marianne has some locations, other locations, what we're going to do. Ella, did you have anything you wanted to add? You were going to say something earlier about the metal.
Oh, just Eileen covered it. You just have to make sure that they're wired because a lot of places will not accept unwired images. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And we're going to, once submitted pieces are sent to us, we'll look at things and make sure things are all set so that we don't have any, we're going to try to avoid surprises when we go to install. Any other questions? We're nearing on 8, and I just want to make sure everybody who wanted to say something has had a chance to. Mel, did you have anything you wanted to say or make sure that we, from an admin side or artist, since you're an artist in the current project?
No, I think the biggest thing is just when you pack it, just make sure it's handled well. I had an issue with a metal print, and my printer redid it and resent it. So, just be aware of things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that means don't wait till the last minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've all been there.
I'm famous for it.
Yeah, it's very good. Well, we really, really want to see your work, and we want to be able to put it in front of the jurors and have decisions made. And yeah, if you have any questions, please just let us know. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome. And thank you,
for all
Mari.
your hard work, Anne.
Oh, sure.
I'm very excited.
Labor of love. Thank you.
She's been living and breathing this for months, y'all. Months, and maybe longer than months, really.
I think years. Well, there was the time during COVID when Tom, Ella, Leslie, and I met like every couple of weeks at like 6 in the morning. I don't know, 8 in the morning or something.
We weren't doing anything else.
I know. And John, during that time, he was really important to us, and so we're just very lucky for all the minds and hands that have played a part in this, and will in the future, and that will be you guys. So,
well, thank you all.
I've got to go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you.
Appreciate it.
Bye. Thank you.